Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to our second in our house show series for X-Ray FM. My name is Jennifer. I work for X-Ray FM, and if you're not familiar with our station, we are an independent, purpose-driven, non-for-profit radio station in Portland, Oregon that focuses on local art, progressive talk, and oftentimes our listeners tell us that they hear things on X-Ray that they don't hear anywhere else. We can be heard at 91.1 FM, 107.1 FM, and online at X-Ray FM. We are presenting this house show series in partnership with our sponsors, Brian Wanamaker Family Estate Vineyards, and Falcon Art Community, and Dave Dahl. And this is sort of an effort to bring a multi-genre, multi-day, multi-location music festival over the next couple of weeks from our homes to yours, since so many of us here in Portland and the Pacific Northwest look forward to summer music festivals, and those aren't happening due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So we are working to sort of bring you a series of house shows that you can tune into and sort of fill that void of not being able to go see live music. We also are working to sort of make sure that artists are able to get paid. Many artists, musicians are dependent on touring and performing live shows as their income, and they are deeply affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, not being able to perform live and support their music. So we are working to make sure that all the artists in this series are getting paid, and we encourage you, the viewer, if you are able to donate, to go to the donate link on the YouTube or Facebook chat or at the bottom of your screen. And if you can throw in a couple of bucks to help out our artists, we would really appreciate it. All the money goes to supporting artists and putting on more house shows where artists are getting paid. So tonight we have Bud from On, and we have Eric from Fruit Bats. They will be performing. We will be doing a Q&A with each of them after their performances. We, last week, you'll find still on our YouTube channel, we had Altador and we had Pure Bathing Culture. We also have another performance tomorrow night with Faustina Masiga, and we have Saint Seneca also tomorrow night. It's at 7 o'clock on the same channels that you are watching this on now. So make sure to tune in for that. And without further ado, again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. I know Anna is out there. I love you, Anna. Kina, Sarah, Rondi, Rihanna, Sharon, Rachel, all of my good girlfriends. Thank you for tuning in. I know you're fans of both of the bands. Thanks for watching. And I'm going to let Bud Wilson from On take it away. And after his set, we will be doing a short Q&A. And in the meantime, enjoy the music. And if you are able to pitch in and donate, please do. Take it away, Bud. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Let me turn my reverb on here. Let's get that right. Welcome to my house. I'm in Oregon City, south of Portland. We'll talk a little bit more about that. This is a brand new song. It's called Orange Neon Leash, and it's not out anywhere, but I've been working on it. Just stay inside, out of the eyes of the autumn light. I can wait, 'cause I'm your dog. I will be yours here. Lie me down when you need some space. I can wait. making it up to you. Freedom, like a hole too small to crawl through. What's freedom? Man, I don't get let down easy. What's freedom? When my heart simply follows you. What's freedom? I'm okay. No, I don't care. All my thoughts go out to you. I'm your dog. I will be your skin. Oh, you know in a second I'm making it up to you. Making it up to you. Freedom, like a hole too small to crawl through. What's freedom? Man, I don't get let down easy. What's freedom? When my heart simply follows you. What's freedom? Just make it easy. You always pull the same way, right away on me, on my orange neon leash, neon leash. You always pull the same way, right away on me, on my orange neon leash, neon leash. You always pull the same way, right away on me, on my orange neon leash, neon leash. You always fall the same way, right away on me, on my orange neon leash, neon leash, my neon leash. Nobody's calling, nobody's checking in. It's December, man, I feel I'm fading out. It's not the way I wanna be, it's just the way I've been feeling. And I don't wanna be alone, man, it hurts to be alone. It's just like out of thin air. I'm erased and no one's there. In the cobwebbed carousel of my mind, man, it hurts to be alone. I watch the fireworks through the window in my room, and I listen as the clock turned over a year. It's not the way I wanna be. It's just the way I've been feeling, and I don't wanna be alone. Man, it hurts to be alone. It's just like out of thin air. I'm erased and no one's there. In the cobwebbed carousel of my mind, no anything at all. I got love for everyone. I got love for everyone. I got love for everyone. I got love for You could call me up over the telephone, but I wouldn't listen, 'cause I don't hear anymore. It's not the way I want to be, it's just the way I've been feeling, and I don't want to be alone. Man, it hurts to be alone. It's just like out of thin air. I'm erased and no one's there. In the cobwebbed carousel of my mind, I don't notice anything at all. I got love for everyone. 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 Oh, that's a hard one to do right now. And whew, I didn't know that was going to happen. Anyway, I want to say thank you to X-Ray for giving me the opportunity to play in front of people, because holy cow, it's been weird, and I haven't played with my band, and I see my family, and that's great, but I do love my family very much, and they're here around. And anyway, I'm just going to keep going. But thanks again, X-Ray, and thanks for all my friends I know that are watching. message to no one. Well, love when it finds me, that in such a timing, you be my blessing, left on dressing in the sun. Fog that creeps across my memory, and so I'll slowly fade away. You lay with me, and through the years we learn to forget without pain. Everything fades away except your love, the only thing that keeps me dreaming before I fall asleep. Oh, your love, the only thing that keeps me watching before I fade away. And in my mind I know you're listening. Hear the sirens are singing out. I echo to their words. If I die to the sound of their voices, was it an epic choice or just some message to no one? Well, love when it finds me, and in such a timing, you be my blessing, that found blessing in the sun. And I can't find what I can't see, the shadow on the wall. I won't fight if you fight me. The distance between it all. Feels good. I got one more song. That song is called Daylight. And I want to send out to one of my best friends, Esteban Mendez. It's his 40th birthday today. And what a sweetheart, special person he is. So one more jammy jam. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the opportunity. Out in the summertime, life just gets easier. Glancing out over the water, taking in the breeze you wore, sifting through your lustful thoughts as you lay out in the sun and wonder if the pills you bought will be enough for too much fun. And retreating to the city down of lights and royalty, where you'll stumble one-handed through some dusty southeast street, until the sun it starts to shaking and it falls between the trees onto a moonlight so heartbreaking that it drops you to your knees. And you say Why should I care what I will find there? Out in that desert wind, out with all my friends, where I'm free to be, and I'm free to love, and I'm free to see, free from all of them, just chasing lightning bugs and the sirens up and down my street, chasing lightning bugs and the sirens up and down my street. I'll stay all night and stare into the light. I'll stay up all night, stare into the light. Why should I care? Why should I care? Why should I care? Why should I
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
That was fantastic.
Thanks. It felt good.
Is it weird to play to just me, not to an audience?
Well, I practiced earlier because your face was frozen on the Zoom, so I was like, I better get used to this.
Oh no!
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh.
No, it wasn't weird. I'm not even most of the time playing. I don't even really feel like I'm here. I'm just sort of floating. It's great for me, selfishly.
I want to, you said that you missed your friends. Do you miss your band? Can we give them a shout out?
Oh, absolutely. Miss them so much. Dreadfully so. I miss, Travis on the bass. We play at his place. It's so nice. He's such a sweet person. Dana on the drums, who's got the highest score in Batman pinball because he's got a pinball machine in his house and he doesn't do anything else. And Andy, who I'm worried isn't quarantining enough, but he still looks like he's doing well. He's hanging out, and he's got the coolest housemates, and I'm so jealous they get to hang out together. And Eddie, who's up in Washington State teaching music lessons via the internets and making the most amazing bizarro jazz. So it looks like everybody's doing pretty well, but it's hard to not see them.
Well, I'm sure they miss you too.
I hope so.
I hope so too. It was so weird to hear like that version of Hurts to Be Alone. And you're right, like that song could have been written about what we're all going through now.
Yeah, it feels pretty poignant all of a sudden.
Yeah, it was kind of spooky and sort of this like slowed down version. It really kind of got me, and you know, I mean I love it, and I told you earlier, that music video is one of my favorite music videos ever of all time of any band. I love the energy from it. It's so cute, and I gotta ask, whose dog is that? Is that your dog? Can we see the dog?
It's the producer and director Patrick Servais, who's multi-talented, amazing in all things media. It's his mother's dog, and I should have checked. I can't remember the dog's name. I think it was Lucy or Emma. It's a one of those cute, very cute little dog names.
But will we be seeing a collab with you and the dog anytime in the future? More music videos, hopefully.
We got a music video in the can right now that Patrick directed, but there's no dog in it yet. But maybe we'll cut the dog in at some point.
I hope so. I'm sure it's going to be great. We talked earlier that you are outside of Oregon City. So what is rural life like out there in the midst of COVID-19? Are people being safe out there? What is the difference that you're seeing between rural life and city life?
Oh, it's vast in some ways, and in other ways, it just depends on what street you're on. We're out here where we have a small farm, and my sister, my wife, my mom, and my sister's husband, my brother-in-law, have all been pretty diligent in quarantining, but they also have a farmer's market in Oregon City, so they take produce in, and I don't go into town except to get groceries once a week mostly. But when I go into Oregon City to buy beer or whatever, or go to the bank, it's a pretty sketchy situation. And it seems like it just runs the gamut of people taking it seriously and some people overly. I don't think you can be overly protective, and I don't know. You can't be overly protective right now because it's such a curious, bizarre thing. It doesn't hurt anyone to be careful, but it hurts people to not be careful. So, well, it does hurt people to be careful too, because like I work in the film industry as well as I would be on tour right now, and neither of those things are happening. So it's just it's an epoch. Is that the right word? It's just an unprecedented situation. Everyone's sick of the word unprecedented, I know, but
and then it's just a scary time, you know, and I think we're all kind of learning together in all of this, and it's a lot. I do want to ask, you said you're on a farm. Is it a vegetable farm? Do you do like farm shares and things like that?
Absolutely, yeah. It's called Brown Bottle Farm. It's my sister and her husband, Ryan, Anna and Ryan. They really pump out the produce. It's certified naturally grown, so they take even more care than just an organic stamp. Like their processes, they run it biodynamic, so it's based on moon phases, but not in a woo-woo sense necessarily. It's just to give you a breath when you can work so hard every day, but when you apply the biodynamic calendar, it means that at least 1 or 2 days a week you're not in the garden seeding and things like that. It's so you maintain a life outside of the farm as well, I believe.
But it's not a woo-woo. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it probably is super woo-woo. I don't live my life by the biodynamic calendar, but I like to hear about their lives.
So, but could people? I mean, you're open for business. People can sign up for shares.
Yeah, they have a website if you're interested, and it caters mostly to Oregon City, but there are runs into Portland, and they sell out within an hour most days. When they put their products up, or when they put their boxes up, their CSA style, it's in an hour and they're out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Eat vegetables, people.
Yeah.
Good for you. What's getting you through right now?
I have been learning a lot about woodworking, actually. I have a small shop, and I have a table saw and a router and chop saws, and I've just been making picture frames for people and learning how to cut glass, and it's a totally new world for me. And one day I was like, you know what, I need to different activity, something that gets me away from my music room, which can sometimes feel, it can feel like I have to do something in there, like I have to make something, when I'd really just rather explore.
I wish I would have had you have one of your frames ready so we could see it and we could do show and tell.
Oh, I have one right here. Just a sec.
Oh. Live. This is live.
Stand by. Yeah, I've already taken a couple custom orders, so it's got a bevel and I cut the glass myself. It has a back, but you know, this looks cooler.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's one.
How long did it take you to make it?
Oh, probably with the measuring and then this has a clear coat and cutting the glass, probably like 2.5 hours a frame.
Oh, wow.
But I'm still learning and I don't want to make mistakes because it's expensive to make mistakes.
Well, that's great quality work. They're not going to let me do interviews on these anymore because I go off script and then they take a lot longer because I just get excited and I'm asking you questions that we didn't talk about before or anything. And I have so many more questions that I'll have to ask offline. But we did have a question come in from one of our viewers, Jose, my dear friend Jose. I love you, Jose. He had some questions about like what your home studio was like. Did you have to build a home studio for this?
I did have to kind of cobble together the pieces that I had in different closets. Like I have a interface that is called the Universal Audio Apollo Twin. It's a really nice piece of equipment, but it only has 2 inputs. And I've been doing drum tracks and bass tracks, trying to do drums not simultaneously with the bass, but so I broke out a mixer that I've had in the closet for 15 years, and it's really modular in that everything that I'm using is stuff that I never really intended to make a studio out of, but it's part of having to be resourceful and be cheap on that note as well. So yeah, that's my process right now.
Awesome. And then, you know, just to that also, so you had an album come out and you were supposed to be touring right now, correct?
Yeah, it started booking a tour in January because it takes so long these days. And we were going to do the Treefort Music Festival in Boise, and then we would be home for a couple weeks, and then we were going to go do a run in California, and had a lot of shows I was so excited about. But I mean, there's so much more stuff going on than me missing a few shows, but it is like my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
And just the time I get to spend with my band and all the friends that we have in all the different cities. Yeah, we'd be in San Diego right now. So we would have played at the Hi-Hat in LA last night. So
I'm sorry. And I appreciate that you are keeping it in perspective and, checking your privilege and all that. But at the same time, we are here to talk about, how artists are being affected by this. Like that's your job, and you're not able to do it during this time. So it's okay to, be a little bit upset about it. What's next for On?
We were in the studio with Cameron Spies of his Night Heron and Radiation City. He produced the last record, and I think we've done 2 tracks all the way, and we're doing a whole other record, and kind of got stalled out on that because I'm not able to go into the studio. So whenever we're able and comfortable to go in and do that, we'll continue to make the record that we started that I like a lot. That first song that I played is on the record. Orange Neon Leash is the name of that song, and it is a wild song on record because it's got just stacks of keys and all sorts of fun jazz stuff.
Awesome. Anything else that you want to say? Like, also let us know where we can learn more about you. Where can we find your music, and when, where can people find you to learn when the album drops? Sure.
We're on a label in Portland called Fresh Selects. that is a multidiscipline or multi-genre label that I just appreciate so much. Puts out amazing jazz music and beat-based music, and us and some of our other friends. So if you go to either we are on AAN at .bandcamp, you can find our music, or you can go to Fresh Selects .bandcamp and find the newest record that's available there. That's called Losing My Shadow. And just look for us. You can just type it in AAN and on music and find us anywhere. And we're definitely not stopping. I'm using this time to stay creative in all ways and try to stay positive.
Thank you. Thank you for being part of this. And thank you for, being positive and letting us into your home and supporting X-Ray through your music. We are so happy to have you. And I feel so grateful. I got to sort of have like a private show almost, even though everyone else saw it too. But it's a great experience. And I really appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you very much. And thanks to X-Ray for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you. Take good care.
You too. Bye.
All right. And I want to thank all the people that donated during this time. I'm going to read from my phone because I don't have a teleprompter in my house. I want to thank Nick. I want to thank Justin. I want to thank Michael, Jamie, T, and Matthew. I want to thank Jose for his question. And Jose also said he loves the new On album. And then also just a reminder that if you are able to make a contribution, all the proceeds are going toward the artists that you're seeing during these house shows and just booking more house shows. We're going to do this as long as we can afford to do it. So, we might be in the situation that we're in for a long while, and X-Ray is here for you. So we're just trying to keep ourselves and you entertained as long as we can and support our local artists. As you know, Portland is a huge music community, and we all need to take care of each other right now. I want to thank all of our sponsors again, Wanamaker Estate Vineyards. I want to thank Dave Dahl, Brian Wanamaker, and Falcon Art Community. I want to thank Chase, who's running all of our engineering for us. I want to thank Annie and Emily, who are moderating the YouTube and Facebook live streams. If you've got comments, go ahead and put them in the chat. We might talk about them at the end of the show. I want to thank Nina. I want to thank Theo and Ben for doing our booking for these shows. I want to thank Jefferson Smith, who lets us do these wild things that we do at X-Ray and supports us in all of that. And then now we're going to go over to we did do it earlier today with Eric from Fruit Bats. He is out of his home in Los Angeles. His internet connection is a little wonky, so we went ahead and did a pre-record with him. And we did, he'll do a short set, and then we did a Q&A that was supposed to be 5 minutes and got a little long. And then we will do another set, and then we'll come back and close. So enjoy this next part from Eric. He came to us. He's part of our Portland family, even though he has moved to LA. We still claim him as our own. And Chase, go ahead and roll that footage from Eric earlier today.
Hard to be the last one from a soon to be ghost town when all that you love is now gone. And you could have left with the first big wave, but you remember back to when you first came and how you didn't want to leave. You remembered when you said you'd never leave, 'cause you loved it then. Hard to be a queer one in a place with no clear ones, at least none they were. And your shopping could have split, but she stayed because at the very least you knew who you was, and you didn't want to leave. 'Cause you like the air, and you said you'd never leave. 'Cause you loved it there. Hard to be the last one from a soon-to-be ghost town when all that you've loved is now gone. And you could have moved on to anywhere, but you remembered back to your first day there on the fire escape. Smoking cigarettes with a fresh fat lip and a new best bed. How you didn't want to leave, 'cause you liked the air. And you said you'd never leave, 'cause you liked it there. And you're never gonna leave, 'cause you loved it there. Whoa, now that you've gotten to the autumn of your years and you feel your best yet, and you found a turkey feather and you hung it like an amulet. So happy that you got to the bottom of the fears that were fettering you, and you found a round stone and you're wearing it around like a Jew. Doors squeaking loud and swinging wide open, and you found yourself, man, and that's something. Now that you've gotten to the clearing in the woods where the weeds sway in the wind, and you found a dead deer and you made it into moccasin, overjoyed that you've gotten to the flat spot in the fields that are starting to feel that it's hearkening to something heartening. Doors creaking loud, swinging wide open, found yourself, man, and that's something. And the that you got to the bottom of the fears that were fettering you, and you found a round stone and you're wearing it around like a jewel. Said you never felt lower, looking at her over your shoulder, slow motion slipping away, writing songs about leaving something, bad ones about believing in one thing, and watching it fade away. If you'd given me most of you, I'd have handed over all of me. But it's in the rear view, and you're my baby, baby. They say it's never over, chipping away at the boulder, the spinning of the wheels, and they're writing songs about coming undone, and they're falling in love with the idea of someone who isn't really real. Still, when I saw you, my heart it split clear in two. So pretty in the rear view, and you're my baby, baby bluebird. You'd given me most of you, well, I'd have handed over all of me. Yeah, it's in the rear view, and you're my baby, baby blue. You're my baby, baby bluebird. You're my baby, baby bluebird. Let's tune first. be birthday drum. So drum. And a new love. And with the watershed ahead of you, to be alone. Christmas storm, true west, no longer. Our roads no longer lead to here. Our roads no longer lead to here. Give away all you've ever owned. Forget all you've ever known. To give away all you've ever owned. And forget it all. To be sweet, young punk, birthday drum, birthday drum.
All right. Well, thank you, Eric, for those songs. We really appreciate you coming and playing with X-Ray. I have a couple questions to ask you, if that's okay, for us to do a little Q&A before your next set.
Yeah, of course.
Great. So you have, this is at least your second virtual stream, virtual concert. What is it like playing to a computer rather than a live audience?
I think this is like maybe even my fourth or fifth one. And it's kind of weird, but I'm getting used to it. The first one I did was I did it on this platform where you have people are, I guess it's on Instagram too that way, but where there's comments happening while you're playing the whole time, which is completely strange because you're trying not to pay attention to comments, but it's sort of like playing a show, but having someone on stage with you whispering in your ear, whispering mostly words of encouragement, but sometimes weird stuff in your ear. But it's interesting. I people really dig it. So it makes me, I've gotten more used to it. And when I've seen how much people like it, I've gotten more into it, I think, than I was at first, which was like I was just freaked out at first by it in general.
Yeah, it's quiet, but then when you see the trickling comments and stuff like that, and it's a little bit, I mean, it's just movement on a screen, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, even if you're trying not to read them, it's still all this stuff popping up. So it can be a little bit distracting, but it's nice that it's, it's friendly comments and everything.
It all has been, and even like the guitar player of Fruit Bats, Josh Beast, he got on and was just like making fun of me the whole time.
What have you been up to? Have you read any good books or, started any new hobbies or anything like that?
I've been trying to read the same book for like months, like in which is this Alan Lomax book, which is really really interesting. It's about like sort of early American ballad hunting and collecting of old folk songs, and it's really really good. But for some reason, books put me to sleep. I read them before bed, and I just read the same first 10 pages. I think other people have this problem too.
Oh yeah.
I read the same 10 pages, which are like excellent, and I'm like, this is so good, and then I'm asleep with like the book on my chest for 8 hours. So no, I haven't read any good books. Oh, I've read 10 really good pages over and over again. But I watched a lot of movies, especially comfort movies early on, when I was still feeling anxious and everything, but was way more anxious in those early weeks. And so I watched all of the Star Wars, like every Star Wars, and a lot of like 80s comfort childhood movies for me. And then, but I've actually made I made a whole record already, which I don't think I can tell you about yet, but it's a secret surprise. But I made a whole record, and now I'm just starting on making, and this is not a surprise, like the next like legit Fruit Bats record. So it's like just kind of getting underway more or less in the next few days.
I want to ask you questions, even though I know that you're not supposed to talk about it yet. So I'll refrain. But that being said, so are we looking at maybe some touring in 2021 to support the new album?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And it's like, nobody knows what that's even going to look like. But yes, we're, I think between that and like some dates we were supposed to play this year, like I'm not really sure of all the details yet, and I probably not only can't talk about it, but I don't even really know what to talk about yet. But yes, there's going to be like hopefully like 1 million shows next year, because it's going to be, because we're going to have a new album out, touring on that normal, and then just and again, I'm very curious to see what live music and things are going to be like next year. I just don't think we know yet, but ostensibly, yes. In a perfect new world, yes. We're going to play like 1 million shows.
And then you're going to have, tracks on your new album are going to be about new thoughts about the Star Wars trilogy and the 80s.
I wish they were. I'm not making a coronavirus record or a Star Wars record, because I actually wrote all this like before. So this is all stuff. It's kind of weird. Like, of course, everyone's having all new kinds of existential thoughts about all kinds of things. But this was a record that I wrote in like January. So, I'm sure. Yeah. We'll see what happens with it, but and yes, maybe there will be a Star Wars song or two on there. There's a lot to glean from that series.
Yeah, I definitely went through that in the beginning too. I did like the Back to the Future, the Star Wars. I was really troubled by watching it as an adult and being like, why is Marty hanging out with an old man? It's just that it made sense to me then, but it doesn't make sense to me now.
No, it is weird that he's a 17-year-old, like presumably kind of popular charismatic boy, but his best friend is like a disgraced 80-year-old nuclear physicist.
Yeah.
But it's kind of awesome. I mean, I'd be friends with Doc Brown.
This cat is driving me insane. I have a cat in the room and she wants attention. I'm so sorry. She also has a really hard time understanding why he's hanging out with this old man.
You can bring her up if she needs to get up on your lap or something. You can bring her up. I don't care.
Definitely does not want to be a part of my lap.
No.
Moving on. So Pickathon, you're sort of you're still Portland's. We claim you. You're a part of us. You're a very popular fixture at Pickathon. I know we've talked about when I've been at Pickathon with other friends, and you're a big part of people's Pickathon plans. You've got something coming up with Pickathon. Tell me what they're doing and direct us on how to find it.
We have, and now I hope I'm giving the right date. I think it's this coming Wednesday, the 20th. Is that right?
Yes.
I hope I'm right.
You are.
They're playing, it's not a live stream. It's our wood stage set from last summer in its entirety. So, you can relive your last summer vibe, with us for a full set, which was, if I recall, a really fun set that I loved. So, cause I always have very fond memories of that stage.
Yeah, it always is beautiful, and Fruit Bats and Pickathon is a great combination, and the wood stage is the best one. So
yeah,
it'll be good. Even if you were there, you'll want to tune in and watch it. It was a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
What do you miss about living in Portland?
I miss, which is weird. I miss the rainy winter kind of, which like a lot of people that they don't like that, but I love it. I sort of miss the cozy drizzly vibes. I miss a lot about it. I miss the smell of the air. I'm back all the time. I mean, I'm still kind of there, like is the way I think of it. It's still very much my adopted home as an adult. Is like I'm from Chicago, but yeah, for whatever, like Portland just welcomed me so much from a creative perspective that sort of is home for me still, and like so many of my best friends are still there, and but yeah, I think I miss that. I miss the smell of Douglas firs on the air and moss on the tree trunks, and I miss all the just simple little things and people.
And the people, and we claim you as a local, so you're welcome back anytime.
I still pretty much am.
You pretty much are.
Yeah.
What about your favorite venue? What venues do you like to play here besides Pickathon?
I mean, the last few years we've been sort of alternating between playing the Aladdin and Revolution Hall, who have always been like, that's been like the last I don't know, the last like 8 years or so. It's been mostly those two places we've been playing, and then Pickathon too. So yeah, I've had fond memories of I guess Aladdin and Rev, just because it's my most recent. I love the Doug Fir, of course, and Mississippi Studios, and just all of them. I'm gonna miss saying something and then sound like a jerk, but all venues in Portland I like. But yeah, our home base for the last couple of years has been Revolution Hall, and we did the Aladdin last time.
Yeah, I live right down the road from the Aladdin. It's my favorite because it's walking distance.
That's where I lived down there too. When yeah, that was my closest venue as well. So I always liked it because it was 5 minutes from my house.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's so many great venues here, so it's, but I just wanted to hear you say all of the ones, like when you're performing live and people in the audience get excited when you mention the local spots that you went to. Like, so
yeah,
just getting those shout outs was, important for this live stream that we're doing.
We're going to be doing hopefully maybe I can talk about this, but I'm not sure if I can. Well, there's going to be probably like a live release, probably just digital release coming out of this show we did at Revolution Hall last year.
Oh.
That was like this very epic 2-set. It was like our longest show ever, like over 2 hours live set at Revolution Hall. So I think that's going to be coming out as a release at some point too. So that'll be cool.
Was it? And it was just in the big part of Rev Hall.
Yeah, just in the main space there.
Very good. Why did you agree to do so? You're not a stranger to the live stream. My fault for not knowing there were like 4 of them and thinking that you had only done the Austin City Limits one. So why did you agree to do the X-Ray one? Why did you agree to partner with us for this?
I don't know, because you've always been supportive to me and cool, and I'll kind of any Portland any bedrocky Portland thing, I'm probably gonna say yes to. So anyone listening to this, you can, if you're some sort of Portland institution, if you hit me up, I'm probably not gonna say no. So yeah, it's a community thing for me, I think, for the most part.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. He's ready to serve Portland. If anyone needs Eric for anything, give him a call. He'll say yes. You heard it
Yeah,
here.
I'll help you move, or whatever. Drive you to the airport.
There you go.
Yeah.
Last question. So tell us about you already talked a little bit about having an album coming out next year, and possibly some tour dates and stuff like that. What else is happening in 2021? Is there anything else? And how do we find out, like, how will people know what to expect and be up, get that up to the minute news from you?
I mean, 2021, new record, and a bunch of shows, and just look on the internet and find me at the various internet spots. And I'm I'm not like I'm active enough on social media. If something is happening, I'll probably tell you about it if you're looking at Instagram or whatever. But yeah, you can find me.
I mean, people made it to this. They can make it to Google to find out more about you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And this was a delight. We spoke earlier. Oh, I wanted to also ask about any future plans with Vetiver. I'm a big Vetiver fan. I was at the show where you played solo at the Jambalaya in Arcata. My friend booked the show. That was when you met, and you made an album together last year. Are there any other collabs coming up that I personally can look forward to?
Yeah, Andy and I are probably always going to do stuff together. We kind of like we're in constant contact and always kind of scheming up little things. And we're actually going to do, and again, I hope I get the date right. I think it's next Thursday. We're going to do a live stream thing together. So it's my first collaborative live stream thing. So it's Fruit Bats and Vetiver together, and it's a benefit for one of my favorite venues in San Francisco, the Chapel. So who have always been a great kind of home away from home for me, and Noise Pop is doing this series of shows to benefit local San Francisco venues that are obviously under stress right now. So yeah, so we're doing that next week. Again, look at the internet and find out. I should have written all these dates down.
Very good. Yeah, we can share it on our channels and everything, and let people know. It's funny too, because we had Pure Bathing Culture on our thing last week, who played in Vetiver,
and have played in Fruit Bats too.
Oh, did they? I didn't know that.
Yeah. They've been kind of like sort of rotating cast auxiliary members of Fruit Bats, like have done even as recently as last year. And Sarah sang with us on that Pickathon set. Sarah's she's like my total, she's one of the best singers in the world. So yeah,
she really is. Are there any, before we get started on your next set, do you want to say anything about the songs? I know we're going to hear a new song from you, Shane. Is there anything you want to say about your next set of songs?
Yeah, Shane, let's talk about that. That's a song that was that got left off the record, Gold Past Life. Not that we didn't think it was like bad or anything. It just was like somehow it just felt like it needed to be its own thing, but it's really weird. It just came out like kind of right after all this lockdown stuff started happening. And if you listen to the lyrics, it's very weirdly sort of almost seems like I wrote it about this, and I did not. I wrote it like 2.5 years ago or something, but it's like sort of a song about looking inward and like fellowship and friendship, and you'll just you'll hear it, so I don't need to totally explain it. But people like a few people were like, wow, I can't believe you wrote and recorded a song that quickly about coronavirus. And I was like, no, that doesn't have anything to do with that at all. But yeah, it's sort of all of my songs are sort of about anxiety, about battling anxiety and sort of finding some sort of inner oneness, and those are the themes I go back to a lot. So maybe they do seem weirdly like I wrote them for this, but which I did not. So
that leads to just another question that I have for you in regard to anxiety. And do you have like advice for people that are going through it? Like there's a new kind of anxiety that's happening to a lot of us right now that maybe people that didn't experience it before, or it's, being triggered even more by people that already are susceptible to anxiety. Do you have advice for anybody? Do you have, how are you coping, and what are some tips and tricks you might have?
I don't know if I have advice because I'm not a professional therapist or anything, but no, I think like my I'm coping with it in a very just simple way. Like just it's kind of a cliche, but it's just like a one day at a time kind of thing. And also I think it's okay to like sort of set dates for yourself when you feel like things are going to change, but know that you might have to wait a little bit longer. And I don't know, I don't really have advice. I'm just sort of I'm lucky in the situation I am, and I'm here with my wife, and I have a yard, and I'm one of the privileged few, so I'm doing okay, and I'm doing creative things and whatnot. So no, I wish I had advice for people.
I mean, that is advice. Saying something like, just take it one day at a time. If that's something that works for you, and, saying that you have a yard, like this isn't such an interesting time, especially because so much of our mental health, we do depend on artists like you. And, these virtual concerts and things that people are doing to feel normal and to feel, like things are okay. We're leaning on, non-professionals like you to kind of like let us know that you're experiencing it too, and that we're going to get through it. And so if one day at a time is working for you, that's definitely like a mantra that can work for somebody else. So don't discredit yourself as far as not being professional. Like I mean, validation and recognition is so important. So, just sharing your words of wisdom, even if it doesn't seem wise to you, and it's just as someone that's dealing with it also is really valuable.
Yeah. I mean, all music is therapeutic, no matter what. So if people are taking some comfort from mine, that makes me obviously really happy. So.
Yeah, and I mean that's why people are tuning in, because this is your music. And I mean, when I found out that I was going to get to moderate this, and I was like, this is such a fruit bats have a special place to me, and it makes me think of my girlfriends in Arcata, that every time fruit bats would come to town or you played solo, like we were there. And it's and these are friends that now personally I'm reconnecting with through Zoom and stuff, and we have Zoom parties, and we talk about when we went to the Fruit Bats show in 2000, or in 2000 or 2006 or whatever. So, I appreciate you, and I appreciate you taking the time to do this for us. And this is therapeutic for all of us. And I really appreciate all artists that are helping us out. And thank you for the great memories that I have, and in Portland and in Arcata. And I'm really excited to hear the next set.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me. Have me anytime.
Oh, well, now that we know that you're willing, we'll be calling.
I'm at anyone's disposal. Yeah. I've given up too much, but yeah.
Awesome. Okay, thanks, Eric. And now we'll get into your next set. Thank you again.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you.
Sometimes a cloud is just a cloud. Sometimes a cloud is just a cloud, just a cloud. Sometimes a cloud is just a cloud, just a cloud. Sometimes a cloud. It's just a cloud. But I rise above, 'cause I was loved by you. Casadera, Casadera.
All right, here's a newish one.
You should call me up, Shane. Seems like you got something to talk to somebody for. It really seems a shame that you don't seem to love yourself much anymore. It's got to be strange. One day you're cruising and the next you're losing ground. But you were too old to care about how your old man never was around. I don't have none of my own, baby, so I'm leaving you my halfpenny share. Please understand me. I know that everything's ridiculous, but it's sad you can't see that you're pretty much a genius. I don't have none of my own, baby, so I'm leaving you my halfpenny share. And a piece of pepper with the Chinese prayer and a Susan B. Anthony share. Piece of pepper with the Chinese prayer and a Susan B. Anthony. I don't have none of my own, baby, so I'm leaving my fortune to you. I always thought of you as family, so it seemed the very least I can do. Shame. Shame. Somebody needs to tell me what I'm supposed to do. They say that I'm not supposed to be in love with you. They say that you're too weird for me, and you leave eventually. But then I'm the only one who ever believed in you. Somebody tell me what I'm looking to face. Everyone's saying that I'm just a part of your face, and they say you'd leave me if you could, as soon as the going's no good. But then I'm the only one who ever believed in you. Somebody tell me who else I could have had. 'Cause I don't love much, but I love you pretty bad. You say that you won't treat me right, that you're gonna up and bolt in the night. But then I'm the only one who ever believed in you. So I guess I ask you if I will, are you gonna run for the hills? 'Cause I'm the only one who ever believed in you. I'm the only one who ever believed in you. I'm the only one who ever believed in you. Yes, I'm the only one who ever believed in you. Yes, I'm the only one who ever believed in you. Who ever believed in you. All right, one more. Well, you got lonely every time the cantina light swayed up on the Indian casino queen. 'Cause he loved her from the time she'd been the waitress at the Mexican place where he left his key. And she'd been there smiling at the lost and found. Then he took her to see Three Dog Night. They were playing at the fairgrounds, holding hands, singing joy to the world. But she was way too young, but he did not care. He was alright with cashing in a few fine moments before his lonely heart kicked in. Or his broken heart kicked in is actually the line. Well, he died a little bit each time the night came in and the stars fell over Michigan. 'Cause he loved her at the bar when he saw her dancing too. I could never take the place of your man. And then she'd come over to his usual spot, and soon they were making out at 3 a.m. in the empty parking lot. And they lay together under the burnt out stars. She never loved him back, it wasn't even close, but he was okay to just pretend that it was never gonna end. And it was worth it just to know a little warmth before the snow.
Thanks to Eric from Fruit Bats. And I just want to thank everyone who tuned in on YouTube and on Facebook. I want to thank Nick, Dina, Annie, and Ariane for donating. I want to thank Chase, who ran our engineering, Annie and Emily for moderating the YouTube and Facebook feeds. I also really want to thank Wanamaker Estate Vineyard, Falcon Art Community, Dave Dahl, Brian Wanamaker for being our sponsors for this really great series of house shows. I want to also remind you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are basically putting these up live as soon as we're booking the artists. So oftentimes we don't have a whole lot of time to promote them because we are trying to give you that, multi-day festival vibe. So the best way to keep track of all these is to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So please do that if you haven't done so yet. And again, thank you to everyone. Tomorrow night, we have Saint Seneca and Faustina Masigat, who will be performing for us tomorrow night at 7 p.m. on our YouTube and Facebook feeds. Also, if you haven't downloaded the X-Ray app, please do so. It's a great, easy-to-use app, and we just really appreciate all of you for tuning in. Thank you for being here for us. Thank you to everyone. Again, I can't thank you all enough. Thank you to our artists. And that's all the thank yous I have for tonight. See you next time tomorrow night with Ross Beach. Be there, be square. We'll see you next time. Bye.